Christina and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my November wrap-up and my December TBR. The first book that I read this month was Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is, of course, a classic. I've been meaning to read this a while and I'm glad I finally got the time to do it. I loved it and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read this month was The Original Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I could not really get into this story. I really wanted to, but it wasn't boring. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, I think. The story sort of picked up towards the end, but it just didn't do it for me. I just couldn't get into the Frankenstein mood, unfortunately. The next book that I read was The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. This one I absolutely loved. I did a video review of this one earlier on, which I will link to down below, and you can go check that out. It was awesome. Just awesome. The next book I read this month was The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. A science fiction classic. I really wanted to like this one, but I think it was the same thing as with the original Frankenstein. I had too high expectations and I couldn't really relate to the characters, and even with sort of the suspense that is sometimes throughout the story, I just couldn't. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 as well. It did have some elements that I thought was interesting. I liked the plot of both this one and Frankenstein, but I just meh. The next book I read was sent to me by the author through a giveaway on Goodreads, and that is Afterlife by Daniel Ionson. I did a review on this on my blog, which I will link to. This, guys, this is a hidden gem. It is a dark fantasy novel. It's set in the nation of Gascaea. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that or the other names right, so sorry if I ain't. And it revolves around Gilman and his fellow warrior elites, the Wolfhounds, who are preparing for war. They have heard that there is darkness coming to their country, and there's been sort of a premonition of doom being upon them. So they are preparing for war, and suddenly they find themselves in the land of the dead. And yeah, it's an amazing book. They try to get from the land of the dead to either back to the land of the living, or to go sort of to the beyond or to the other side. It's a really interesting story and I do recommend this one. Thank you so much, Daniel, for sending this to me. I enjoyed it so much. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And yeah, just read it. The next book that I read in November was probably the most exciting one for me this month, and that was Revival by Stephen King. I did a video review of this one earlier on, and I will link to that one down below. I can't give this one enough praise. If you love Stephen King, you're gonna love this one. It was amazing. Just amazing. Love it. The last handheld novel I read in November was Herland by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I can understand how this novel was controversial when it came out in 1915, but reading it now, I just couldn't get into the story. I couldn't get into the characters. I didn't think there was enough suspense in it. I just could not relate to it. So I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Nah. In November, I also listened to 2 audiobooks. I listened first to These Broken Stars by Amie Kaufman and Meagan, which I absolutely loved. The next book in the Starbound series comes out on December 23rd, and it's called This Shattered World, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this series will go. I think it's a trilogy. I'm pretty sure it is. But either way, I'm really looking forward to it. The next book that I listened to on Audible was The Throne of Glass, and I've been wanting to read that book for quite a while. I feel like I'm one of the few who hasn't, and all of the books are out, so I'm really looking forward to getting on with that story. I love the first one. Both that one and These Broken Stars I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was just really exciting. I love the voices in the audiobooks as well, so definitely recommend that. Yeah, that was the books that I read in November. It was a pretty good reading month for me. And let's get on to my December TBR. I have 3 Kindle books that I'm reading this month. The first one I'm already finished with. It was 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher, a story about a teen girl who commits suicide and sends out tapes to the people that she feels is responsible for her doing so. It was an interesting read. I will do a review of that one later on. The 2 next books are books that I'm reading for my online class. The first one is Left Hand of Darkness by Guin. Don't know much about it yet. The second one is Little Brother by Doctorow, which I don't really know much about either. So I'll let you know more about those later on. I've also finished one more book from my December TBR already. That is The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. Found this really interesting. It's about people moving from Earth to Mars, trying to settle in there, and how that leads to conflict between the Martians and Earth people, and I just found this a really interesting read. I will do a review on this on my blog. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video review just yet, but we'll see. I'm also reading Harry Potter, the Philosopher's Stone for my 7-year-old son at the moment, so I'm hoping that we can get through this one in December and maybe start the second one in January. Visiting the Harry Potter universe again is so much fun. I haven't been there for years, book-wise, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting through this one again. The second book I am going to read this month is Eleanor in Part by Rainbow Rowell. And I know I should have read this a long time ago. I feel like everyone's been reading this and I haven't. I sort of feel left out. But I'm going to. I'm finally going to. I'm also going to read The Twistrose Key by Tone Almhjell. I'm doing this one Norwegian style because it is a Norwegian author and I always like to read Norwegian authors in Norwegian. I just do. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I really don't know much about it other than it's gotten a lot of praise, and it's just a beautiful book, and it sort of has all these cute little illustrations at the beginning of every chapter, and yeah. I've been putting this off for quite some time and I don't know why, but I am going to read this one now. And I'm really looking forward to it. The next book that I'm going to read is Joyland by Stephen King. The reason I picked this one up now is because of Revival. There was 1 or 2 references to Joyland in Revival, and being the huge Stephen King fan that I am, I thought it was time that I picked this one up. So I'm going to. Next off, we have A Christmas Carol and Other Holiday Treasures by Charles Dickens. I've been wanting to read the classics of Charles Dickens for quite some time, and I haven't gotten around to do it. And now that I have this Christmas collection that I got for Christmas, I think last Christmas or the Christmas before that, I am finally going to do this. I'm going to read this one in December to get me even in a more Christmas mood. I don't need it, but I love Christmas, so I am going to. And I'm hoping that I will enjoy this as much as I think I will. I hope so. Final handheld novel that I'm going to read this month, and I'm really super excited about. I showed you this one in my October book haul. It is the My True Love Gave to Me. It's a selection of 12 short stories revolving around winter and romance, which is perfect for December. And it is written by 12 different authors. You have Stephanie Perkins, Laini Taylor, Rainbow Rowell, Myra McIntyre, so on and so on. So many good authors in here, and I'm really looking forward to this one. And I probably will do a video review of this one when I'm done. I'm not sure if I'm going to read it as a whole, from cover to cover, or if I'm going to do a short story here and there. I will decide on that soon. I'm also going to listen to probably 2 audiobooks this month. I'm currently listening to The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and I'm currently about five and a half hours into it and loving it. It is a fairly complicated plot with a girl that is a dreamwalker and can, as it sounds, walk into other people's dreams. In this story, this is highly illegal, and she gets caught and transferred to another place, and I'm not going to say much more about it because I don't want to ruin anything, and I'm not sure much more about the plot just yet. All I know is that it's super exciting, and I really look forward to seeing what happens to Paige. I love this story so far. The second audio book that I'm going to try to listen to in December is the second book in the Throne of Glass series, which is The Crown of Midnight, and I'm fairly confident that I will get the time to listen to that one as well, because I do listen to audiobooks whenever I'm on the go, or when I'm doing my makeup, or whenever I don't feel like holding a book or anything like that. So yeah, I'm fairly confident I will get through my entire TBR this month, but we'll see. So that is my November wrap-up and December TBR. Let me know in the comments below if you have any of the books that I've been showing you or any thoughts about it. I'm also open for suggestions for future TBRs. And yeah, guess that's it. Have a glorious, fabulous holiday. Have fun reading and get into the fabulous mood of Christmas. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye. Oh, and by the way, this is what happens when I leave my camera unattended and the boyfriend is in the house. You're a dork, but I love you for it.